Meteorite field. I'd like to have a piece of meteorite at home as a souvenir. Even though it's not particularly rare, it's still interesting. It's an alien from outer space. Who knows where it flew and where it came from? I've seen a lot of meteorites in museums, but it's hard to touch or hold them. But in a museum like this, there is probably no problem with it. You can even break off a piece for yourself. Here are the details. In the northern part of Argentina, there is an area that the ancient Indians called Campo del Cielo, which means heavenly field. According to an ancient Native American legend, in this area, mysterious metal boulders often simply fell from the sky, which later gave the area its name. Records of Campo del Cielo are preserved in old Spanish chronicles. The conquistadors found huge blocks of iron here in the 16th century and used them to produce swords and metal spearheads. Herman de Miraville was particularly successful in this endeavor, who in 1576 accidentally discovered a huge block of pure iron among the swampy lowlands. Later, the Spanish conquistador visited the site several times and chopped off pieces of iron from the block, which he used for his purposes. The age of meteorites is mainly determined by the depth of their occurrence in the layers of the Earth's crust, and more precisely, the traces of these layers on the walls of the crater formed by the fall of the celestial body. According to these data, it is believed that the age of the meteorite Campo del Cielo IV, 6,000 years. It is considered to be the second largest meteorite in the world ever found, after the Joba meteorite. In 1783, the head of one of the Argentine provinces, Don Ruben de Celis, relying on documents from the Spaniards, organized an expedition to the ironclad. After a long search, the metal block was found. Ruben de Celis estimated its weight to be about 15 tons. Although similar expeditions were later conducted several times due to the lack of documentation with which to find the place, attempts to find the block of metal again were unsuccessful. 20 years after the expedition of the prefect Don Ruben de Celis, a meteorite weighing almost a ton was found in the Campo del Cielo. In 1813, the largest piece of this meteorite, weighing 635 kilograms, was delivered to the Argentine capital of Buenos Aires. A piece of this meteorite was soon purchased by the Englishman Woodbine Darish and donated to the British Museum. At present, a piece of this space iron is mounted on a pedestal in front of the entrance to the museum. Beforehand, part of the surface of the meteorite from Campo del Cielo has been polished so that museum visitors can see the structure of the metal with Widmanstätten figures, which testify to the extraterrestrial origin of this meteorite. In the vicinity of Campo del Cielo, fragments of meteorites of pure iron are still found today. Their weight ranges from a few kilograms to tens of tons. In 1980, a meteorite fragment that weighed 33 tons and 400 kilograms was found in the area near the small town of Ganstol. Especially to study the meteorite came to Gancedo-American scientist Robert Hugh, who wanted to buy it and take it to the US, but the Argentine authorities did not give permission. Currently, the meteorite found in Gancedo is the second largest meteorite ever found on Earth. The largest meteorite to hit our planet is the Joba meteorite, which weighs about 60 tons. The fact that a large number of meteorites have been found in the Campo del Cielo area at various times suggests that the area used to be the site of a so-called meteor shower. Proof of this is the large number of craters in the area. The largest of these is a crater called Laguna Negra, more than 5 meters deep and 115 meters in diameter. The length of the field is more than 18 kilometers, and its width averages about 3 kilometers. In total, there are 26 sinkholes in the valley, and the largest of them is 115 meters in diameter. Experts estimate that the rocks hit the ground at a speed of 14,400 kilometers per hour. Some meteorites penetrated deep holes in the surface. For example, a 14-ton boulder created a tunnel 25 meters long and about 8 meters deep. The asteroid weighed about 600 tons before being blown apart as it entered the atmosphere. In 1961, Professor Cassidy of Columbia University, the world's foremost expert on meteorites, came to Campo del Cielo. The scientist organized an expedition which discovered a large number of hexaderoids, that is, small meteorites composed of metal. The meteorites found by Professor Cassidy consisted of chemically pure iron, the percentage of which reached 96%. These meteorites also contain small amounts of nickel, cobalt, and phosphorus. Meteorites that had been found in Campo del Cielo before that time also had the same chemical composition. It was for this reason that a scientist from Columbia University concluded that all of these meteorites were fragments of the same celestial body. But Professor Cassidy was more struck by the fact that the meteorites in Campo del Cielo were found at a distance of 17 kilometers. While when a large meteorite explodes in the atmosphere of the Earth, its debris flies away in the form of an ellipse of a maximum of 1,600 meters. As a result of Professor Cassidy's findings, many other scientists have become interested in meteorites in northern Argentina. New expeditions organized for a more detailed study of Campo del Cielo found new meteorite fragments even on the Pacific coast. But in fact, it turned out that the meteorite fragments that were found in the Campo del Cielo area were also found thousands of kilometers away from Argentina, in Australia. Back in 1937, not far from the town of Hanbury, meteorites were found in an ancient crater about 8 meters deep and 175 meters in diameter. The largest of the meteorites found weighed 82 kilograms. Also found several smaller iron meteorites. In 1969, an analysis was carried out to determine the chemical composition of the meteorites found near Hanbury, which showed that the meteorites found in Australia are almost identical to those found in Argentina. The area lying around the town of Hanbury is known for its large number of ancient craters. The largest of them reaches a diameter of 200 meters. But usually these craters are relatively small in diameter, which rarely exceed 18 meters. Since the mid-20s of the 20th century, excavations have been carried out here, resulting in the discovery of more than 800 meteorite fragments, which consisted of pure iron. Also, near Hanbury were found 4 pieces of one large meteorite, which weighed 200 kilograms. After analyzing the meteorites found in Argentina and Australia, Professor Cassidy concluded that several thousand years ago, a celestial body was orbiting the Earth, which could also be a second satellite of our planet. This huge meteorite orbited the Earth in an elliptical orbit, gradually approaching it under the force of Earth's gravity. This process may have lasted more than 1,000 years, but eventually this celestial body approached our planet to such an extent that it crossed the rock's boundary, entered the atmosphere of the Earth, and disintegrated into fragments of different masses and sizes. It was parts of this giant meteorite that were discovered at Campo del Cielo and Hanbury. Using radiocarbon analysis, the approximate date of the catastrophe was determined to be 5,800 years ago. From these data, we can conclude that the fall of a giant meteorite on Earth has occurred already during the existence of ancient civilizations, which left behind a scroll containing a description of the catastrophe. It is in these descriptions and were found references to the second natural satellite of the Earth and the catastrophe, which was caused by its fall. The Sumerians, writing on clay tablets, referred to the goddess Inanna, who crossed the sky and emitted a frightening light. In the ancient Greeks, the myth of Phaeton is a confirmation of the fall of a giant meteorite. The mysterious celestial body, which was visible in the sky even in sunlight, was also mentioned in the myths and legends of Babylon, ancient Egypt, and Scandinavia, as well as the peoples and tribes of Oceania. The theme of a giant meteorite falling to Earth was reflected in the myths of all 130 Indian tribes of Central and South America. As noted by the American astronomer Popper, it is not surprising that the description of the second natural satellite of the Earth and its fall found mention among the tribes and nations living at such great distances from each other. The fact that metallic meteorites reflect the sunlight from themselves, so they shine very brightly and are clearly visible in the sky even during the day. At the same time, the luminosity of a metallic meteorite, which is called a bolide, exceeds the luminosity of the moon. Because the metallic asteroid was traveling in an elliptical orbit, it passed very close to Earth's atmosphere during certain periods. At these times, the bolide came into contact with the upper layers of the atmosphere and became very hot. The brilliance of its glow was visible even in the light of day. As the meteorite moved away from our planet and entered the icy cold of space, it cooled. It was the constant change in the temperature of the bolide, according to Papper, that caused the meteorite to collapse. Fragments and parts of the meteorite have been found over a large area from South America to Australia. This fact allows scientists to hypothesize that the bolide split while still in its orbit and then entered the Earth's atmosphere as a meteor shower. The largest pieces of meteorite fell into the waters of the Pacific Ocean, thereby causing waves of unprecedented size that bypassed the Earth. In the myths of the Indians who lived in the Amazon Valley, it is described that stars fell from the heavens. Darkness enveloped the Earth, and rain fell that flooded everything. A Brazilian legend says that the water rose to such a height that no earth could be seen, and the gloom and rain did not cease. Similar events are also described in Book 5 of the Mayan Code. It says that the world collapsed. The stars fell from the sky, tracing a trail of fire across the firmament. The earth was covered with ashes, and the earth shook from the tremor. All of these myths and legends describe the events that accompanied the catastrophe: floods, earthquakes, and volcanic eruptions. Scientists believe that the epicenter of the events associated with the meteorite fall was in the southern hemisphere of the Earth. Also, many of the scientists suggest that the events that followed the meteorite fall to Earth were vividly described in the biblical myth of the flood. Hi all dear friends. I'm glad to welcome all of you on my channel. All those who like to find something interesting for themselves. I will post more and more interesting videos for you. But since I'm just starting to develop this channel, I want to know your opinion. What topics are interesting for you? Maybe I will make some video of your interest theme so that people from around the world could learn more about our history and the secrets, because we are hiding much of the truth and not telling people at the top of us from the ordinary people. While we're still very few, please share my work and message to the world with everyone you know. Maybe they will also be surprised by these videos, and it will contribute to the growth and development of the channel. I will try for you with all my might and will not let you down, dear people. Thank you, dear subscribers and guests of the channel. Please do not forget to subscribe and like and share this video. Thank you again.